heavy hitters, because we let a little bit go off
Yeah.
last week, right? Like we were like, okay, look, the big thing is all these games came out, and we've had about 16 minutes to even like smell the cases, right? Or even just download them and have the load screen come up. First up is Horizon Forbidden West, a sequel in its own right, a massive sequel though. I mean, even the
I got
reviews.
a really funny thing about this.
Oh, please,
Like really funny, real quick.
start it up all top. Go for it. You take over, please.
So my partner and I, we were at the movies last night, and a trailer for this game came up, and she was like, "This looks awesome. Do you have this?" And I'm like, "No," and she's like, "Are you gonna play this?" And I'm like, "I would love to. Have it not been for 14 other games that have come out in the last 3 months that I'm just completely backlogged in right now that we're still gonna get into." But I was like, "This looks fucking sweet. Like, I would love to play this, but don't have the."
I watched a 30-minute review, and I was just like, holy crap. And I feel like even the 30 minutes of just watching different gameplay throughout different events, they did a great job. I think it was IGN. They did a great job of not really blowing, I guess, the climax or storyline, which is really, to me, what I care about when it comes to games like this, like one-player games.
Yeah.
The mechanics and the effects, all of that looks insane.
It looks gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
The first Horizon looked incredible. It was like one of the best looking PlayStation games of all time.
Yeah, and I think sequels have a really hard time of like matching their originator, right? This looks pretty freaking good. And before I forget, Michael Mahaffey, thank you for all, as always, man in the chair, show notes, just looking the way you do, existing in this universe, put in the chat that Encanto makes him cry every time.
Which is interesting for a white man.
Yeah.
Like, it's very interesting for a white man. I think it's very interesting for a white man.
I give it Klimt.
Encanto for me like really hits home because of the fact that it's based on a true story of every Latin grandmother is gaslighting their whole family.
That's why you cry though, because mi
Well,
abuela is being just so mean, just so mean, muy mal, right? But for me, I'm just like,
love my grandma.
I don't like being misunderstood, or I don't feel like I'm special. And then at the same time, I'm also crying because what's her face with the super strong chick. She feels like she's got to fix everybody's.
That
Louisa
made me ball like crazy. Yeah,
she's got to fix everybody's problems.
I'm the oldest. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I felt weak. I felt
weak.
Encanto, I said the most unrealistic part of that movie is the end of that movie where the grandmother owns up to her actions and takes responsibility.
Oh yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening.
Yeah.
No.
Not a Latin family.
If it was
absolutely not.
I don't know about the Latin part personally. I'm gonna have to lean in on your experience for that. However, if it was like a Force ghost at the end, maybe.
The grandmother's dead.
She's like, "Oh, I get to live forever and tell you how terrible you are." Right. Let me do that right now. Okay. He said family trauma isn't a Hispanic thing. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you.
That is a Hispanic thing, and I will completely take that from you. Already have everything, like good credit. You can catch cabs, all of that.
The Latinx community has
familial trauma.
Just totally owned familial trauma. Yeah, that's you know what? At least he said family and not familia trauma. Like that would have been on the nose.
I would have banned him if he had said familia.
Suddenly, Mikhail Mahaffey would have shown up in the chat instead of Michael Mahaffey. But no, that definitely veered from what we were talking about, and I apologize, but I had to make sure chat was heard. But Horizon Forbidden West looks pretty freaking great, and a lot of people are saying it's a contender for Game of the Year, which is big britches to fill.
Which is crazy because 3 more games we're talking about today
Bro.
fucking Game of the Year.
Yeah, I don't think you want to talk about like just jamming in all your wins up front. I'm kind of like the rest of the year's kind of fucked. Like next up, Destiny 2: The Witch Queen. I have zero context. I have zero knowledge. I'm sorry. I'm throwing it all on you. I'm gonna try to pepper in banter, but wish me luck.
So Destiny 2 is like the game that I put the most hours in. Like if you pull up, let's look at Steam. I have it pulled up right now. On Steam, I have an playtime of 932 hours and 70 minutes.
Oh my god.
That's just Steam. That doesn't include PlayStation.
You're almost 1/10 of the way to perfecting a craft.
Yeah.
Like you could play the piano pretty well if you put that level of effort in.
So Destiny 2 Witch Queen, delayed from last year, supposed to come out in around November of last year. Actually around August, September of last year. Bungie's new expansion.
Right.
I won't bore you with the details, but it's
But they were
the
bought by
best that,
PlayStation. Yep.
yeah, the best that it's the best that Destiny 2's ever been. It's
Really?
literally the best that Destiny 2's ever been.
We've
Yeah,
been talking
the
about
story's
sequels kind of
incredible.
like taking it in the shins. You really think it's that much
Yeah,
better? What
it is the
sets it
best
apart
that
from the
that
last expansion? Besides obviously
the
storyline.
storytelling is out of this world. The gameplay changes that they have made. One of the big things is that they're taking the for each character you have four subclasses now. Three that are light based, one that is darkness based, and the darkness one is stasis. The light ones are solar, void, and arc.
Okay.
And what they have said is that in these expansions, that when the stasis subclass came out, it was highly customizable. It was really cool. You could do like different fragments and different play styles and different builds and everything. Very much like an MMO subclass. The older subclasses, Void, Solar, and Arc, have been around since Destiny 1. All of those have stayed relatively the same. You essentially pick one ability, one super, all of that.
Okay.
With Witch Queen, they came out and did Void 3.0. So they redid the entire Void subclass for all three classes to make it like the Stasis one, where you can make builds and all of that stuff.
Sure.
It works perfectly. It changes the play style of the game. It allows you to really kind of theory craft and build craft and all of that. They added weapon crafting into the game. There are all these mechanics that they added into the raid world first competition starts tomorrow, and no one has even seen what the raid looks like. I'm super excited to watch.
I like
will
that.
not be partaking.
I like when a competition doesn't even tell you what's happening. It's like Hunger
Yeah.
Games, right? Like you're just, oh shit, and then it goes.
Right. So the game is the best that it's ever been. And when this came out, I was pretty cool on it. I was like, I played Destiny for thousands of hours at this point between 1 and 2. I'm probably gonna take a back seat to this. And then like I was off for 2 days last week, and I think I spent like 36 hours fucking playing this
I
game.
feel like
And
I
I'm
got
like-
a message
I'm
from you like,
capped already.
I totally just hit the storyline in like 8 hours. And I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
I'm
Like,
fucking light capped.
how many
Like
P breaks
I have
did
like
you
all
have?
the weapons that you need
3?
to have. Like, it's insane. But it's great. The game is really great. It's in a really cool spot. It looks beautiful. The new environments for the throne world that you're on for Savathûn is really great, and the storytelling is fucking bonkers.
Now for Destiny, there's definitely a multiplayer side of this, right? Like, are the same mechanics?
It's almost entirely
They translate over to multiplayer. Like, do you
It's
play
very
multiplayer,
much
or are
like
you
an
more
MMO.
like I'm right now on the storyline path?
So I play Destiny like I play WoW, where like
Tell me more.
I'll find like a core group, and like I will stick with that group for
That's what's up.
the whole time.
That's what's up.
So like,
Yeah.
I have a few friends that have been playing Destiny for years. I played, I'll name a few. Cloud Strife, I think 127. I've been playing with him since Destiny 1. Mach T, PJ, all of these guys that I played with for years. At this
Shout out. Yeah.
An expansion will bring them back. And like I said, like literally, like today, I get done with work and I hop on Destiny and I just have I'm not even playing. Like I'm like kind of cleaning up from work
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And I'm just chatting with these guys on PlayStation chat. And I was raiding, about an hour ago with a group of people that I played Final Fantasy 14 with for a while that I also played Destiny with. And like the community is great. Like you get a lot of outliers in this community, like you do with WoW, where everybody's toxic and shit. But like for the most
Right.
part, the community is really cool.
But you can cultivate your own, universe, really.
Yeah, but yeah, the multiplayer aspect is awesome, and they've really leaned into it. Like the way that the campaign is built this time is there's two difficulties. There's normal and then there's legendary, and this is the first time that they did a legendary campaign like they did with Halo. And doing the legendary campaign like gives you all of these extra benefits. It's not like just make it hard to be hard. Like you get like a whole bunch of extra shit, which is really cool.
But do you get any
and it
different
was-
like storylines or any extra like level to it?
No
or?
storylines. Like the biggest thing is like, so the light cap is 1550 for powerful and 1560 for pinnacle.
Yeah.
And you start at 1350. So you start 200 light below.
Got
it. If you do the story on legendary, you get a full set of gear at 1520. So it bumps you up 170 light just by doing that.
Now again, does that translate over to like multiplayer? Is everybody equal there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. because like those that kind of puts you at the end game. It's like getting gear in Warcraft.
Yeah.
The better gear that you get, the higher equipment that you can
Exactly.
get, the higher, you can do heroic raids, you can do all that shit. It's just like that.
That's cool. That's cool.
So it's cool. I love it. It is awesome.
So, in your opinion, best in a while or best overall?
Best, I would say best overall. This gets compared to the Taken King, which was the third Destiny expansion for Destiny 1. Because it was Dark Below, House of Wolves, Taken King was the third one.
And it's not just because of the monarchy theme there. Like, that's not just like an obvious lay person trying to figure out, like, Queen and King. Next is Jester and Joker.
So the Taken King and the Witch Queen are brother and sister. I can't get into this. There's a lot. If we want to do like a Destiny lore,
brother and sister, they call those prince and princesses. But I feel like King and Queen are married.
They didn't rule at the same time.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
because there's
a whole lot there.
That was getting weird.
They've compared this to the Taken King being like, the Taken King was essentially the apex of Destiny 1. It was like the best that game has ever been.
Got it.
This is probably better than the Taken King overall, and it is.
Shit.
It's incredible. I love it.
Big words from big man. All right, next up. Guess what?
His WoW group. Okay, so Mike brings up a great point. He says his WoW group doesn't include anybody he knows in real life. That is absolutely true. Because all of you people have children and don't have schedules like I do to where I can throw myself into a game until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. It's our fault. It's our fault.
It's all your. No. I'm a terrible friend when it comes to Warcraft. He's absolutely right. I'll be like, yeah, dude, I'll run shit with you, and then I'm in like heroic raid, and like I'll get gear, and I'll be like, bye. I gotta go raid. Goodbye. I'm gonna go find a. He is absolutely right.
Hey man, I respect that. I think like several weeks in a row, I was like, yeah, I'll be online on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
Never showed up.
It's not just my fault.
Just like a text like the next day, like, my bad, bro.
My bad.
It's
not like you needed a tank.
It's not like I just copied and pasted this from last week. Yeah. My bad. Well, unfortunately, ragging on your friends is coming to an end. Let's go to the next game, Elden Ring, where it's solo play. I got to tell you.
This isn't just solo play.
What?
This is multiplayer as well.
Oh, like campaign modes multiplayer? Or like against each other?
Just like Dark Souls, you can summon people to actually other players to come in and help you.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. Okay. So is it the whole campaign though? Or is it like one-offs? Like you kind of
I don't think there's a campaign. I'll be 100% honest with you. I bought this game and then I played Witch Queen. And then I haven't fucking put it down.
Well, I mean, when I say campaign, I mean like there's a beginning of this game and there's an end of this game. You think it's just open world the whole time? There's constantly bigger beasts?
I always feel like Dark Souls and Demon Souls don't really have campaigns.
Okay.
It's like, like you're right. I think there is an actual end to the game.
Right.
But I think it's so non-linear that like you could go straight to the end of the game.
And never see like a credit roll either.
Right.
It's like, 'cause there's so much more to do. Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much talk about accessibility in games and like, there should be an easy mode for games, which I'm completely for. Like Mike and I talked about this for hours the other night. Actually, today. I think it was today. Mike and I talked for a couple of hours, which is uncharacteristic based on our work schedules. But like we were able to like kind of connect for an hour today, and was like, he's playing Elden Ring and he fucking loves it, and he's like, I was like, dude, yeah. He was like, I just like to be overpowered. Like that's why I keep playing the first area over and over again. It's because I like to like blow through things. Because I don't want my games to be super difficult.
Happy just said in the chat. He said there's a story. He confirmed there's a story. So hopefully
there is a story. Yeah.
But no, what I really mean is like I feel like this game is for me is kind of contender for game of the year. Hang on, I'm gonna pause.
Kind of contender. People are saying this is the greatest fucking game of all time.
Yeah. Well, let me at least pepper in chat's comments here. There are required bosses to progress the story. Okay, so there is kind of like a progression. And I say kind of sarcastically because I feel like it's been such a long waiting period for this, right? On top of that, usually when games come out, there's always going to be something kind of goofy with it, like Cyberpunk right? There's a bunch of memes
Was
about
broken.
how just jacked up it was, or like really any game. There's going to be something that's like it's kind of funky, and for the most part, everything I heard about it, which was a lot, not just like in our communities online, but like even at work, which is like people being like, dude, I just logged on and just got murdered for hours. Like every time I thought I was doing something right, I was learning how wrong I was. 4 hours. And then they were like, okay, then I thought maybe just I'm tired, I need to take a break. Went to bed, woke up a little early, kids and all that, so they get up early, they renewed, got coffee, again, murdered. And then I look at online to find out, like, are there, memes or short little clips of like just something goofy or something like that makes the game seem like seriously super easy. And most of the time, it wasn't. It was like a guy battling a bear that's the same ratio of man to bear in real life. And then all of a sudden, there's a bear 6 times the size of a normal bear. And you've got a half a second to realize that thing's coming at you because of the point of view you have. Oh, my God. Like I would hate to constantly be thinking about trees that might come to life or grass monsters or whatever it is, because that to me makes my stress level go up, and that's what I think makes it so hard. And I find that the lack of clips I see for the game, that means people are more embarrassed by how often they're getting murdered in different ways that they don't want to put it online until, of course, I'm sure you saw the clip where like basically the almost no armored person was just battling.
He's just like doing this. Fucking
yeah, that to me, I was like, all right. So it's 99.9% the hardest game ever. But
there are people that do shit like that with all these games. Like, fuck you. Like, fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Like I don't make games so hard that I can't play them. And then like, don't gatekeep that shit. Like, people on the internet are fucking terrible. They're like, just get good, pussy. And I'm like,
yeah,
that's not how this works.
Just get good. Just be better. It's like,
and then people are like, you shouldn't buy you shouldn't buy this game because it's a Dark Souls game. I was like, okay, when you fucking twats come out and say this is the best game of all time, like,
what makes you think you're not going to buy it?
Super Mario World. Super Mario World is the best game of
all time. Yes.
Yeah, like you're saying that this is the best game of all time. Fuck every other game. This is the best game of all time. Do you expect people that are not part of the Dark Souls and Demon Souls fucking cult to not come in and buy that game and be like, oh, like I want to play the best game of all time? No, fuck you. You can't have it both ways. You can't be some niche fucking community.
Yeah.
And
who would gatekeep this?
Gatekeep all of your people. Like, fuck y'all.
It makes no sense.
Absolutely not.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And people that do that, I guess this have never worked on something for 5 years and then just pushed it out into the world. And if you have, great. I mean, kindergartners, right?
It's the same way I feel about people who rag on fucking developers. Like,
exactly.
Who rag on like game developers are like, do you test your game? Yeah, absolutely.
Constantly.
I'm sure that they have QA. Like, there's no studio in the world that doesn't have fucking QA. Have you ever brought a product to launch?
But at the same time, you're never going to get the same
because I have.
You're never going to get the same like bag of dice mentality that people have. Like, I'm going to click on this button and then this one. For reasons.
How did I know that if you put your dick on the screen that the application would break? Like I don't think about shit like that.
I heard a good joke today, and you triggered me, so I'm gonna say it. This guy said that his dick was featured. His dick was in the Guinness World Book of Records, and then the librarian asked him to take it out.
I shouldn't have been drinking.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
That's really good. I'm gonna use that.
All right, and then last one. What's the difference between a chromosome and a hormone? I've never heard of chromosome. But I have heard of hormone. Yeah. All right, moving right along. Elden Ring.
IGN gave this game a 10, by the way.
Yeah, masterpiece, by the way, which is a word I'm going to use later. for obvious reasons.
There was a kindafunny.com. So Kinda Funny Greg Miller, who famously said "fuck Bobby Kotick" at the Dice Awards, which I don't think we talked about on the show.
Is it Kind of Funny
'Cause I think it
Games or
happened
Kind of
the
Funny? What's the name of the show? Kind of Funny.
Kind of Funny Games.
There
Yeah,
you go.
Kind of Funny.
All right.
I don't know if we talked about it on the show. Greg Miller got on stage
Where
during
he-
the Dice Awards.
where he's like F
said, "Fuck
Bobby,
Bobby Kotick."
and then he did the letter first,
Yeah.
like F him, and then everybody's like,
and then
he
doubled down.
doubled
It was
down.
like, yeah, fuck that guy.
he's the worst.
I just listened to their predictions episode of they do like a predictions episode every year at the beginning of the year of like shit that's gonna happen in gaming. And their whole thing what
Mahavy got it. Our algorithms are aligned.
is that from We Got Chocolates?
Yes, it is, Mahavy. Our algorithms are so in sync. Get out of my brain. And it's only weird that your first name has several of the letters that my wife's first name has. So we're all in sync. Our time of the month is the same. It's great.
I totally love. They Kind of Funny. One of their predictions was they were gonna give IGN was gonna give 3 games a 10 in 2022,
Were they all these?
and I think they've already given 2.
Oh, Jesus. What do you think the next one would be? Or based on that
That's
show,
a good
what do they
question.
say? Or
They
just
didn't
in
say
general?
they didn't say specific games, but like
10,
the
10,
next
10.
one, if Breath of the Wild 2 comes out this year, then it's definitely getting a 10.
That's fair. That's
Breath
probably
of the
fair.
Wild 2 does make Street Date this year. It'll get a 10.
That's
I don't know
probably
what
fair.
else is coming out this year.
Yeah, but I feel like I hate when people do that. Oh, they're going to give at least 3 of these. Is that because historically for the past 10 years they've given 3, 10 ratings or whatever? Like, and that's my inner like sports gambler. What are the Vegas odds on that? But I digress. That's not this kind of show.